Fab. Welcome to Supernova Labs. Right. What have we been talking about? We've just come out of a working lunch within the space industry here in the UK, and it's all been about funding. It's always about funding here. I think something that we've spoken about a lot with people over the years is that venture capital markets here in Europe, they're just not as responsive as they can be, and they are over in the States. And I've been trying to get to the bottom of why. We spent time in the UK, time in Europe. We spent time in London, like navigating all these financial networks to the top, to work out exactly what the structures are and how they invest and what the differences are culturally. One of the big things that's come out of it is that one, the UK is effectively centrally planned when it comes to its investment frameworks. Yes, there was a free market for everybody else, but for the big deals and for the prime VCs at the top, there are committees that work very in tandem with the UK government to define what needs investing and what core capabilities need to be developed, and they then go out and find them, right? So they become the finders for all these technology developments. So if you're not on that list, you're not getting funded. So, which is problematic, but I can see why they do it. Another thing is that in Europe, because a lot of the rich people in Europe are asset rich but cash poor, right? And in the States, because it's a lot of new money, they have a lot of cash on hand, so they're a lot more risk tolerant with the way they make their investments. Over there, they're looking, well, how can we make money out of a situation where over here and over in Europe, it's how do we lose money? So everybody's asking you to, when you're putting bids and grants together and all this kind of thing, the application forms are like tens of pages long. You've got to tell people the color of the taps you're going to be using. Whereas over in the States, Y Combinator, for example, it's like a one-page form, and there's 50,000, like 500,000 available to any successful applicants in your bank on that day just to get started, right? That is the way that you formulate fast innovation, because it's not, a lot of early ideas don't struggle with the technical capability. They struggle with liquidity to go and find it. And with the venture capital model that's come out of Silicon Valley, it's like, yes, you invest in 100 companies and maybe one will win back the whole investment for the 100 companies that you put in. But that model and the terminology and acumen has been exported to like the UK and European markets, but that attitude of traditional banking, like how do we like manage the risk and keep our risk tolerance like super low. We're only going for sure things. That mindset of like we are going to make risky bets, and we are going to go with people that don't necessarily have everything together, but like have an attitude and a capability to go and build something, hasn't been exported yet. And I think is the primary culture shift necessary to make European space globally competitive and facilitate a lot of the early stage startups that are building technologies to bring that world where Europe is a space a competitive space superpower into the future to bear. Yeah, just some thoughts coming out of that meeting. It's incredibly frustrating being a space startup in the northwest of the UK. The space industry sees the northwest here as incredibly small, so not worth the time and money to put in and develop, despite it having one of the largest aerospace industries and the easiest transfer of knowledge and skills into it, which is hopefully what we can begin to facilitate. I think we're in initial discussions now to start bringing more people together across the northwest, because one, it's necessary to grow the size of the Northwest Space Sector, and two, I'm tired of going and finding everybody else. It's time everybody came to me. So we're going to start building the infrastructure. We're going to start building the meetings and the outreach. So it makes it very easy to come to Manchester. You'll have a great time. Manchester's great. Don't worry. It's okay to leave London. It's okay to leave the confines of the city you live in and visit somewhere new, especially somewhere with such an incredible history, developing computers, passenger rail, the first many social movements that have had a global impact. Perhaps building space planes and developing sustainable and just access to space is the next revolution to wash over the globe, and you can find it here in Manchester. That's all I've got to say though. So, hope you have a wonderful day. Don't know, I've missed a day in videos. How tragic. But I think I'm going to default back to making videos when I have something to talk about, because I want to respect your time as well as my own. So, I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend.